let's move on to our lighting plan. That's going to be our E 2.1 sheet. Let's move over to our model space. And we're going to do xref into this project, our lighting plan. It will be labeled RCP, reflective ceiling plan, lighting plan, whatever you name it. Bring that in, 1 to 1. You want to freeze. You want to get ready for the designers to go ahead and use. We want to freeze anything we're not going to use. Let's get rid of our dimensions. These tags. These sections. That was our duct work. Get rid of that. And so you should be left with, these are our tags, our section tags. You want to leave those there. And these are our light fixtures here. So we're going to be leaving the light fixtures for now. And here the architect has located where they would like them to go. And we can place our light fixtures above this when it comes to it. But for now, we're going to leave it like this. So this is our RCP. And we're going to go to our paper space. And let's create our viewport. Make sure you're on the depth points layer when you make your viewport. Bring that over. Again, don't forget to hit OK for a regen. And you'll go ahead and want to set up your scale to whatever scale it is. And to verify your scale, you can double check on the architect's plans. They have selected, you can look at their PDFs, they'll have their lighting plan or their floor plan, and you can check the scale that's there. So you want to match that scale. So now we're going to bring our blocks, bring in our plan title that we use, place it in, verify your north arrow. Sometimes the site plan can be pointing one way and the building, the way the architect sets it up, can be rotated a certain way. So you always want to verify which direction the north arrow is. And you can do that again by the architect's floor plans that they're showing. So we're going to name this our lighting plan. And we'll set the scale, which is the scale of the architects, which is a quarter in this case. Now there's a few more items we're going to bring. Let's go to our electrical dropdown. Let's go to our notes. You want to select lighting plan notes. And we'll click this over to the side. It's going to come in as a block. So what you want to do is select the block and burst it. So now you can select the individual files. Because we're not going to be doing any demolition, I can get rid of this note. Again, if you don't know, you can verify with your designer. You want to bring over your general notes and your lighting key notes. Our general notes, don't forget, go on top, and our lighting key notes go below. And so these, you want to grab them and you want to place them in. And don't forget, you need them to align with the other sheets as well. You want them to be in the exact same location. So this one has a larger general notes section, so it's going to push your lighting key notes further down. That's fine, as long as your general notes lines up. And so the last thing we're going to bring in for this is our luminaire schedule. So go to electrical, I'm going to go to schedules, our light fixture schedule. It's going to bring this blue box. And what you're going to do is move in, you want to line it up to your logo. Make sure everything is aligned. Slide it up so it's above it. The purpose of this is to indicate what each light is going to be. You're going to tag the light fixtures and you're going to select the model numbers, the manufacturers. You'll put the voltage and all that information. And that's again later on. For now, we can leave it blank and you'll work with your designer to help you figure that out. These over here, we can delete these. And if you're not sure, you can verify with your designer and leave them there until they bring clarification. So this is all you need to do for your lighting plan. Okay, so we're gonna begin our E 3.1 sheet, which is our power plan. So let's go into our model space again. We want to bring in the X reference for our power plan. It's going to be the floor. It can be labeled floor plan. I did want to mention, depending on the architect you're working with, they will send just one file, and in that one file will have combined your lighting plan, your roof plan, your floor plan. If that's the case, bring in the one file and just freeze all unassociated layers with the sheet that you're working with. For example, if you have a lighting plan, you want to freeze everything to do with the floor plan and just leave the lighting plan notes. And so here, this one came in, everything looks good. We have all our equipment showing. I will freeze. That was for the plumbing. We don't need that for our electrical side of the department. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave everything like so. We'll come over to our E3.1 in the paper space. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm on my depth points layer, and we want to do that when we're creating our viewport. You want to double click in, go ahead and select the scale that you're going to be working with the architect. Again, that's verified with their PDFs on their floor plans. After you select your scale, go ahead and bring in your blocks at the ASEI blocks. Plan title with north arrow. You want to place this down. We're going to rename it power plan, and you want to match the same scale as you were using for your lighting plan. Okay, so we want to bring in our electrical notes for the power plan. We come in, we'll slide over to power plan notes. Comes in as a block. Let's go ahead and burst the block. Here we have a fire alarm notes. We want to place this project. We're just letting them know that the fire alarm will be done on a separate permit, not by us. And if you're not sure to use this or not, go ahead and speak with your designer. They can help you. Okay, so we want to bring in our general notes that is going to go on top. And then our power notes are going to go below. Depending on what city you're in, you can have these notes for reference. This one, we're not in Chandler. We won't have any hoods or elevators here. And if you don't know, go ahead and leave that on your plan and on the side, and your designer can help you figure that out. Our power notes, in this case, we have a lot of power notes. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you what it looks like lined up below, and it overlaps. So for now, we're gonna leave it on the side. These notes that have been coming in, that we have been bringing in, they are ASEI notes that we've used typically. Not every note is going to pertain to your project. So if you're not sure or that far in the knowledge of the design world, you can go ahead and leave them for now. But these are just different notes that pertain to different projects. Depending on what you're working on, these will be edited and it will shrink down, and that way everything will fit in. So I did want to note, I've been saying that these need to match your other sheets. I'm going to show you, for example, here's our lighting plan that we just did. I'm going to make a reference point. I'm going to select this endpoint to this endpoint. I'm just going to copy over that line. And I'm going to bring it in here. And I'm going to put this here. So what I want to do is make sure this lines up exactly in the same location. And this is how you can do it. and go ahead and delete that line when you're done. So this way our general notes lines up exactly the same location. Our plan title also needs to come in at the same location. So I'm going to do something similar. I'll select a line and just create it. I want to reference location. I want to match. I'm going to bring this in here. Line that up. What I can do is move my viewport up a little bit. So that way everything lines up. In certain cases, you'll have a lot of information, or the viewport, the background will be too big. This can adjust in those cases, but typically you want everything to line up as best as possible. And this is everything that you'll need to finish your sheet setup for the power plan. Okay, so we want to go ahead and move to our E3.2 sheet, which would be our HVAC roof power plan. Let's move over to our model space. And we're going to XREF into this project our roof plan. You want to freeze items we're not using. We don't use the section details. Let's get rid of those keynotes. And get rid of the arrows. And so we'll leave it like this for now. And you might have your designer come back and have you change a few things. That's fine. You can go ahead and have your designer help you figure out what exactly he doesn't want or they want to keep. So let's go over to our paper space. We're going to make our viewport. Should be on your depth points layer. And you want to again match the scale. And the scale you can verify with the architect on their PDFs. We're going to bring in the blocks. ASEI blocks drop down. They have the new plan with the north arrow. So we're going to name our sheet HVAC roof power plan. And if you're not sure what to label these, you can verify by going on the E0.1 sheet. On that sheet, they have the sheet index section and they have labeled the names of these here. And so you want to just make sure that you're matching everything together. And so we will go ahead and bring our notes from a drop down, electrical notes. Select power plan notes again from our power plan that we used before. We're going to burst the block. We are going to get rid of the kitchen hood, elevator notes. This note for fire alarms, we only need to show it one time, and that's going to be on our power plan. We do not need to show it again. Get rid of everything else. We only want our general notes and the key notes. You want to place that down. I'm going to leave the power notes on the side for now. I'm going to grab a location so I can line everything up, make sure everything looks the same on each sheet. So I'm going to move this over. You can get rid of your reference lines. That one was close. You can go ahead and just move it in. And again, you don't want to be close, you want to be exact. So make sure that's right on point. Now, I'm going to show you an example of what one looks like completed. For now, this is all you need to do for your HVAC roof power plan. One thing I want to note is that you will have a mechanical schedule. So whoever your mechanical counterpart is for this project, they will create this schedule. And it's in regards to the HVAC, and you're going to place it on your HVAC roof power plan. You're going to copy it from them. So for now you won't have it because they don't have it yet as we're starting the project, but they will let you know when it's completed and when you're okay to copy it over. And you have electrical information and that is for the reviewers to see, and that helps us design our projects as well. And so this is what one would look like completed. So this is everything you're going to do for our HVAC power plan for now. So let's move on to our E4.1 sheet, and this is going to be our schematic diagrams / engineering calculations. And again, just a reminder, you can get this name at our E0.1 sheet on the sheet index section. So let's go ahead. We're not going to XREF anything into this part, but we are going to bring our electrical notes in. So we're going to go electrical notes, go to single line notes. You can place it on the side for now. Comes in as a block, so you do want to burst so that you can select the items individually. Go ahead and grab your single line general notes, and you do want this to match up with the other general notes that you've been using. That way when we're flipping through the sheets, everything lines up. These parts right here in white, this is just to help you out. They have some general information to help you when you're designing. We're going to bring in this warning note. This is for our arc flash. This is for the contractors to see. We want to place that above our logo, 0.25. So everything lines up here. I'm going to go ahead and move my items here. These are for our one line or your single line. And actually we want to place this at the top center of our sheet. This is where ASEI we decided that our one line should go. And once you start designing this, it will get larger and you'll add a few more items and then adjustment will be made. But for now you want to place this in the center as that's our design standard. So let's go ahead and bring a few more items in. We want to bring our ASEI blocks, new plan title. We don't need the north arrow for this one, so select this one. We want to place it below your one line, and we're going to double click in here, and we'll call it single line diagram. And for your scale, which is right below here, you're going to change that to NTS, which means not to scale. And so this panel diagram we're going to remove, and we'll use that later on a different sheet. And we're going to remove, this is just to help you with sizing wires. The special inspection note, we're going to leave it on the side, and we're going to have your designer determine if they want to use this in special inspection notes, which is used in certain cases depending on the size of your service and different items that are going to be used for your project. So we'll leave that for now. So this will be all that you need to do for setting up your E4.1 sheet. Okay, so we want to move on to our E4.2 sheet, panel schedules. And so for now, we're not going to do too much here, but we do want to bring in our electrical. Go to notes. We want to bring in the single line notes again. Place it to the side. We only need one item from here. So I'm going to burst this so I can select the items. And it's this right here. This is our panel schedules labels. This lets the contractor know how we want them to label the panels. So it's important information for them to have. So I'm going to grab this. Now this one, I am going to move it to my left section over here, but I want to line it up with the top part of my logo as best as possible. So I'm going to move it from my logo, from this top corner. Make sure it's straight. We'll place it over here. You don't want to put it too close to the edge. You want to just move it away. And so all these other notes, these were a lot of these referenced on the single line sheets. So we're going to get rid of that. So for now, this is all we'll have here. When the designer gets into the project more, you'll start placing in panel schedules. So for now, this is all you need to do for your E4.2 sheet setup. For our final sheet, it's going to be our E5.1 sheet, and that is our IECC ComCheck report. This name came from our E0.1 sheet in the index section. So you're going to leave it blank for now. What goes on this sheet is a report that we produce. And I'm going to show you an example of what one looks like. In this report, we're letting the reviewers know what light fixtures we're going to be using, both exterior and interior. And what it's saying is that we are using a total wattage, which is the power that's being used. And depending on the square footage of the building and the square footage of your exterior parking lot, you're only allowed to use so much. And so this just shows the reviewer that we are passing on what's allowed. So here we're passing 43, for example, in our interior, we're passing by 23% for exterior. And so this is what one will look like. Once you get that information, your designer will help you. You need a program called ComCheck. So they'll help you to download that file and where to download it as well. But all you need to do for now is just create an empty sheet, name your stuff, go ahead and bring in your logo, and that's all you need to do for your E5.1 sheet. So we just finished our electrical sheet setups. You made it to the end, so good for you. And at the time of this recording, we do want to say that we were using the most current drop downs, and depending on where things have gone in the future, there might be some extra items added. So if there's any confusion on which items to use or not to use, you can speak with your designer on which ones to use if you need clarification. And so you've made it through to the end, and thank you for watching our electrical sheet setups.